Hello everyone, welcome back to GGN. This is part 4 for this news report for today, for Monday, June 24th, 2013. Safer than conventional food, push to make UK world GMO leader sparks outrage. This is of course eugenics, and that Britain's top environment official has called to bring GM to the UK, praising it as safe and proven innovation which would help feed the world. So we were just talking about under the dome or living in a bubble, right? The Chinese, it's air pollution so bad that they have to live in these little domes. GM foods kept off the menu at Westminster, so the House of Commons is continuing to bar genetically modified food from its restaurants and cafes despite a drive by ministers for the technology to be more widely accepted. China approves 3 new GMO seed varieties for import, just days after we reported that China has blocked several illegal shipments of both GM corn and seeds coming from the U.S. It's now being reported that China has since approved 3 other GMO varieties for legal import, defying what was believed by some to be renewed opposition to the ongoing GMO takeover by the new Chinese government. The latest approval showed that the world's fastest growing economy is apparently still supporting global biotech GMOs. China's elite eat all organic. Remember this article I covered a while back. Government outlets provide safe, special food for the nation's leader. So it goes on here, it says they're getting the choicest, safest delicacies. Of course, they attribute to this because of the tainted food crisis, as if this is some kind of temporary solution. No, this is the way it is. They get hormone-free beef from the grasslands of Inner Mongolia, organic tea from the foothills of Tibet, and rice water by melted mountain snow. It's all supplied by a special government outfit that provides all organic foods from farms working on the strictest guidelines. FBI calls destruction of GMO sugar beets in Oregon economic sabotage. Get that. In a breaking development, the FBI confirms that 1,500 GM sugar beet plants were destroyed this month in Oregon. It says in what they are calling an act of economic sabotage. So that's pretty interesting because we just covered this, right? Official says in Tennessee, water complaints could be acts of terrorism. That's right. Residents who say children have become ill from drinking water says state is attempting to silence its critics. So it says here, the deputy director of the Department of Environment and Conservation warned a group in the county residents that unfounded complaints about water quality could be considered acts of terrorism. 80% of prepackaged foods in America are banned in other countries. So commonly found in grocery stores across the U.S., such as Fruit Loops, Swanson Dinners, Mountain Dew, and frozen potato and bread products. You should think twice before purchasing them after hearing what they contain. Dangerous chemicals that other countries around the globe have deemed toxic to the point that they're illegal, and companies are fined hundreds of thousands of dollars for including them in food products. It's in a new book, Rich Food, Poor Food. So they list what they call banned bad boys, ingredients commonly used in 80% of all American convenience food that have been banned by other countries. Some examples are this olestra, commonly used in low-fat snacks. They said here it causes serious gastrointestinal issues. Mountain Dew, Fresca, and Squirt all contain brominated vegetable oil that's been banned in more than 100 countries because it's been linked to basically every form of thyroid disease, from cancer to autoimmune disease known to man. And it goes on there, it says, way to go, FDA. So talking about food coloring and mac and cheese, it says yellow 5 and yellow 6 is made from coal tar, which among other things is an active ingredient in lice shampoo and has been linked to allergies, ADHD, cancer in animals. You can go in there and check it out. The last one I have is azodicarbonamide, whatever, commonly found in frozen dinners and frozen potato and bread products, which is used to make things like bleach and foam plastics like those found in yoga mats. So says that it's banned in most European countries because it's known to induce asthma. The fact it's so dangerous that in Singapore it carries a hefty $500,000 fine and 15 years in prison. New study links over, so he's like, we're land of the free. You're free to be a lab rat, right? New study links over 7,000 cancer deaths to cell phone tower radiation exposures. So according to research findings from Brazil, says the facts speak for themselves. They establish a direct link between cancer deaths, Brazil's third largest city with a cell phone network. Over 80% of those who succumb to certain types of cancer reside approximately a third of a mile away from one of those hundreds of cell phone antennas that populate the city. These cancers primarily found in the prostate, breast, lungs, kidneys, liver, are the ones associated with exposure to electromagnetic fields. This is a real concern for cell phone users and even non-cell phone users. Those who shun mobile phone technology still suffer the consequences of cell phone tower radiation. They're damn skippy, they do. So it goes on, it says that these studies in cancer rates have been conducted in San Francisco, including Austria, Germany, and Israel, dating back as the 70s. It says here they found that living within certain proximity to a cell phone tower increased the risk of cancer anywhere from 2 to 121 times, depending on what type of cancer was detected. One researcher said here they addressed those who are concerned about cell phone tower radiation, explains the Brazil study does not stand alone. She elaborated that those levels of EMFs are already high and dangerous to human health. The closer you live to an antenna, the greater the contact with the electromagnetic field. Next up, feds say nuclear waste may be leaking into soil from Hanford site. An underground tank holding some of the worst radioactive waste in the nation's most contaminated nuclear site might be leaking into the soil, says the U.S. Department of Energy. New study finds that 7 in 10 Americans are on at least one prescription drug, many of which can be deadly. So that's pretty crazy. I already covered it, but I thought I'd throw it in with this report. Antidepressants could be risk to unborn babies. This is from the 23rd. The risk posed by some popular antidepressants in early pregnancy is not worth taking for women with mild to moderate depression. They can double the risk of a child being born with a heart defect. They've been used by up to 1 in 6 women of childbearing age. Alright. Many urban tap water systems loaded with SSRI antidepressant drugs. So it says here 41 million Americans are exposed daily to tap water containing trace amounts of antibiotics, sleeping pills, and even sex hormones. But now there's finding the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, in the water supply, and genetic havoc they are having and wreaking on the human health. Just throwing these in here, these are an older article right here, why putting antidepressants in our water supply is perfectly reasonable. So, it says cities and towns that naturally have more lithium in their water supply have lower suicide rates. So, a psychiatrist in Ireland has suggested that we deliberately introduce it into the water supply. So it can boost the effectiveness of others' antidepressants when given in concert with them. Increase in shootings, school shootings linked to antidepressant prescription drugs. Again, I'm just throwing this in there. But it says here that that the FDA basically made it so that you'd have to have a black box warning on the drug can cause suicidal tendencies. So basically say that it can cause suicidal tendencies, but what about violent and homicidal tendencies? Despite mounting evidence that antidepressants and certain other drugs can induce violent behavior, led to tragic deaths of spouses, family members, and friends, FDA has done nothing to warn or curb use of such drugs. A 17-year-old girl dies after a forced abortion in India. According to police, a 17-year-old mother died following a forced abortion last Thursday in India. The minor, who has been identified, became pregnant shortly after eloped with a man. Police call, whatever. They say the man did not want a child and forced the girl to have an abortion last Wednesday. Alright, so next up, this is the last articles I have for you. Mother flushed 2-day-old baby down toilet because she could not afford abortion. So I just covered like 3 articles on Friday about that, 3 different parts of the world. Police arrested a 26-year-old woman in Spain after she said that she flushed her 2-day-old baby down the toilet because she could not afford an abortion. 20-week abortion ban moves forward in Texas. The House votes. So they said they backed a clampdown on abortions with a 97-33 vote on a bill that includes a ban on procedure after 20 weeks of pregnancy. Second trimester babies respond to speech before speech centers have developed, says study. Every dad who has in vain attempted to shush a distraught child knows that there's no soothing music like a mother's voice to get the job done. It says here now they know why. Researchers penetrating the development of the child in the womb discovered that at just 29 weeks gestation, the neurons in a preterm baby's brain are already reacting differently to different sounds and different voices, well before the brain center of speech has fully developed and migrated to their final location. So researchers who said they are astounded by the process called an unborn baby's development of linguistic functions a sophisticated organization that remained elusive to them. New research shows brain connectivity begins in utero. This is from February of 2013. I thought I'd include it. Scientific investigation has proven to be persuasive, pro-life tool, shedding light on the humanity of unborn children. Science has shown that a baby's tiny heart begins to beat at 21 days, by 21 days after conception, and that by 20 weeks fetal age, a baby is capable of feeling pain. The last two I have for you is a secret network of foreign NGOs performing illegal abortions in Bolivia. A secret network of NGOs, including foreign ones, are helping women to obtain abortions in Bolivia. The Spanish news service EFE is reporting that Kimball made the statements at a talk given at Bolivia's vice president's office. So this is pretty messed up. She says that although Kimball is not reported as having named the NGOs involved, she stated that a network of such group exists. These are mostly foreigners which conspire with abortionist clinics to kill Bolivian unborn children. There are clinics that provide many health services. Among those services, they also do illegal abortions because for these institutions, the perspective is that they want to help women in every way necessary. Should not be a surprise. We saw this story from November of 2011, Peruvian government accused of secretly sterilizing thousands of women. Hundreds of women in Peru who believe they are infertile may actually be victims of a horrible government policy that led them to be sterilized. The country's attorney general says that there was about 2,000 cases of women who had their tubes tied without their consent under a program meant to provide birth control options to deal with the country's high birth rate. This happened, a similar thing happened in, Central Asia, East Asia? So, anyways, thanks for joining me, everyone. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Take care.